In this module, we'll talk about the role of English language teaching profession not only in the spread of English but also in the emergence of different varieties of English. During colonialism, the British encouraged the local people, the native people of different colonies, to learn English. But this encouragement was not open to all. The British had a clearly defined language policy, and the learning of English in the colonies was strictly controlled by that language policy, which was based on the political and economic needs of the empire. So the language policy was to support the empire in whatever way possible, both politically and economically. So in that way, we see that ELT methodology was also subservient to the purposes of the empire, the aims and ambitions of the empire. An example of this subservience is the curriculum which was used for teaching English to the local people was based on language examinations which were used as qualification standards for civil servants in the British government. So the curriculum was not based on the needs of the people, but it was based on the needs of the empire, and it was based on the test which was used by the British government to select civil servants for the empire. Let's take a look at how English language teaching played a role in the development of different varieties of English. Surprisingly, although there was a lot of money and time spent on teaching of English in the colonies, there was also an emphasis on the teaching of mother tongue literacy to the local people. And there were several political reasons behind that as well. We'll not go into those details at the moment. Um, but what I would like to point out here is that English was not taught at the cost of the local languages. The mother tongue literacy was also encouraged and promoted, and people were given a chance to also learn their mother tongue. And English was not taught through methodology based on assimilation, but it was taught through bilingual education, which means that English was taught side by side with the teaching of the local languages, and also that there was teaching of English and the teaching of other subjects was conducted in the local languages in some cases. So there was no immersion strategy or immersion policy followed for teaching English. Immersion would mean when you completely immerse a learner in the environment of the target language. So in this case, immersion would mean that all the subjects, the content subjects, were also taught in English. Students would learn Pakistan studies if there was such a subject, science, history, everything in English, the way it is done in English medium schools in Pakistan now. But in the colonies, the immersion system was not followed. Instead, a bilingual education system was followed. Um, because of the fact that there was a large number of people who were to be taught English, the empire did not have the capacity or the intention to hire so many native English speaking teachers. It was not possible for the empire to invest so much resources in hiring native English speaking teachers who were available to teach English to all those who wanted to learn English in the colonies. So, what happened was that after some people became proficient in English in the colonies, those people were given the task of teaching English to other native people, local people in the colonies. So, in this way, the process of language spread depended on non native English teachers. After a handful of native English speaking teachers who taught English in the colonies, and as a result, some local people became proficient enough in English to teach other people. It was the non-native English speaking people who were given the task of teaching English to other people in the colonies, and in this way, these non-native English speaking teachers are responsible for the spread of English. These teachers, because they themselves were non-native English teachers, even though they were proficient, it goes without saying that their use of the English had some traces of the local languages. And when these teachers taught English to the other local students, it gave rise to more, let's say, influence of the mother tongues on the use of the English, and in this way, different varieties of English emerged. So we can say that in this way, English language teaching itself played a very noticeable role in the emergence of different varieties of English all around the world.